Okay, the question is, what am I doing out here today? This is called combining, and literally I have way more bees than I need in that hive over there. This hive here is the fresh one that we just started out with here a couple weeks ago with a brand new queen, and well, similar to when I did that split that started this colony by taking a bunch of bees from that hive to create a new colony, I'm going to take more bees from that hive over there and merge them into this hive. But the thing about that is now we have two different colonies coming together under one house. They will not get along. And so merging colonies involves just a little bit of trickery on my part, another time release situation. And that's going to be done with some newspaper. I'll explain that as I go. But first, let's get this lid off and get all the bees off the underside of the lid and into this hive, which is looking fantastic, by the way. A lot of bees in here. They're ready for a new box anyways. And they're going to get a new box, but they're also getting a whole bunch of new family members. They just don't know it yet. So we need to get all the bees off this lid, because this lid's going to actually go to the other box. And these bees will not get along with those bees. So I'd like to get them all out of here. All out of here for their own good. I don't know if I can get them all. They're pretty feisty already. They're already not very happy about this. That's okay. The problem with putting bees from another colony in is that they think they're being invaded no matter which group they're from. And in both cases, you get a situation where the bees attempt to kill the queen because they think that she's somehow invading their hive. So we want to get rid of every one of these girls off this board, so we're not putting them in the other hive and risking her causing any harm to the queen over there. Okay, it is clean. We'll put it over here, far and away from them. So now the next trick in this game is put down a couple pieces of newspaper. And this is real fun on a windy day. To get all lined nice and straight, and then the breeze comes along and moves it. But that's not going to be a problem today. One, there's no breeze. And two, I have an extra little trick up my sleeve. I put a shim down. The shim will keep this anchored in place. Nice and still, right where I want it. And we'll put the box on top of it. So, part 3 of this. These bees are going to need 2, 3, 4 days to chew through the paper. We have to kind of give them a head start. So, what I do here is I'm going to take a knife and just cut a few slits. And kind of strategically throughout. They'll actually start chewing. Start chewing around those areas as the smell of the bees on the opposite side starts to drift through. Now, let me go get the other box. Big box full of bees. Right down there. Put the lid on over here. Okay. So now what I've done, the first part of this video, you'll see footage from 3 days ago where I opened up that hive over there, went through again, looking for my queen, inspecting for queen cells. Queen cells present is they're getting ready to swarm. I did find some queen cells. I had to destroy those queen cells. But then I took 3 frames full of brood from the bottom box, added them to this box that was otherwise empty as far as bees go, put it on top of there, separated by a queen excluder. So now what happens is all these nurse bees move up into the top box to take care of those frames of brood. And there's also a bunch of honey stores and comb in there. So now they're up working with all that, and the queen cannot get up in that 3rd box, which is now this box. So this is a box that is full of nurse bees and full of workers, and it's also got some foragers in there, which we're going to have to let out. But they are in here doing their thing, and they cannot access the colony that's below them because that newspaper is in the way. And what's going to happen is, again, if that newspaper wasn't there, these bees and those bees would go to war. Ultimately, the queen might die, and we would have a dead colony. It would be a very, very problematic thing. So by putting the newspaper in here now they're, like people in the upstairs apartment, they're neighbors. And these neighbors up here have no queen as of 2 minutes ago when I pulled them off of there. They're going to soon discover they're missing a queen, and they're going to want a queen. And meanwhile, they're going to start chewing holes through that newspaper, starting with those little slots that I punched through. And the feelers on the little girls upstairs will come down through the holes, and the feelers from the girls upstairs, downstairs will come up, and they'll pass the pheromone back and forth. By the time they chew any holes big enough to crawl through, all these girls up here will be familiar with the queen pheromone, and they won't be opposing colonies anymore. They will be one colony. They will just get along, and they'll merge, and they'll chew all that newspaper out of the middle, and they'll become one big functioning hive. And this hive will now have been boosted, practically doubling the number of bees, doubling the amount of space that they have to work in, and much more prepared for hunting season, which is only a month away before it starts. So yeah, so this is a good move. We've taken a lot of bees away from there, removed a lot of the stress of too many bees over there, and we've boosted this hive all in one move. So that's how it's supposed to work. We'll get this lid strapped on, and then I'll show you what we do about the foragers that are inadvertently trapped in here from the other hive. We want them out for a variety of reasons, but the biggest thing is that they are more ornery, they are less likely to accept a new queen and get along with this new colony. And that's fine, because they're going to go back to their old home all by themselves once we let them out. The foragers, after all, are pretty much the only bees in this box that are capable of flight. All I got to do is give them an exit. And within the next 2 hours, they'll all remove themselves. They'll fly out of here not even realizing that they're leaving someplace new. They'll go foraging, and when they come back, they'll come back to their old home over there in the other box. All that will be left over here, young nurse bees and hive workers who are going to merge into this colony without any problems. And that's how we do that. The trick to letting those workers out is this cap right here. We're just going to open up this door. Foragers will follow the light. There they are already. They'll fly away, and they'll go home to that hive, leaving only the nurse bees behind to take over this colony. And the reason we put the door on this side of the hive is because this hive is coming and going through an entrance on the other end. We're going to keep them separated so they don't get confused or think that their neighbors are too close. In a few days after they've chewed through the paper and they've merged, I'll plug that hole back up or I'll just take that frame out of there completely. Some of the new foragers from this upper box that have learned to come and go through this door will have to relearn. They'll come home and discover this door is missing, and they'll crawl around the hive, and they'll take half a day to sort itself out. That's not a problem. So that is how we merge 2 colonies of bees. It's a great way to strengthen a weak hive. If you have one hive that's maybe dying, they've lost their queen, and it's late in the year and you don't have time to put a new queen in there, you can take that weak hive and combine it with a stronger hive, the same method, and you've basically given them a chance to live and survive and to boost that other colony. 2 weak colonies make 1 strong colony. That's very common, and it's a great way of solving some problems. Today it solves the problem of overcrowding in a hive that's potentially ready to swarm, and we've now resolved that.